Hello everybody, welcome to English program. Q Skills for Success, Level 3, Reading and Writing, Unit 6, Lesson 2. Unit 6, Reading 2, Objectives. By the end of this lesson, the students will be able to read an article from a science journal that presents research on how the brain can influence a person's decision to help strangers. B. Use phrasal verbs and find the meanings of some phrasal verbs. Identify and use phrases and words that signal examples and state reasons. Unit 6, page 129. Reading 2, The Biology of Altruism. Page 129. Preview the reading. Activity A. Preview. Read the first and last paragraphs. Why do you think people want to help strangers? Check your answers. It makes them feel good. It helps people survive. They feel they have to. They want something in return. It makes them feel important. It's polite. Now, you will pause the video and go to page 130 and 131 to read the first and the last paragraphs. Then you will decide one of these choices. To answer the question, why do you think people want to help strangers? You can check more than one answer. Now, pause the video and go to the passage, read the first and last paragraphs. Have you tried reading the two paragraphs by yourself? Now, let's reread them again together. Follow up with me. Paragraph 1. Scientific evidence suggests that humans have a biological desire to help others, including strangers. Altruistic behavior towards strangers is uniquely human and observed at a very young age. Dr. Felix Warrenkin and Dr. Michael Tomsello of Germany's Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology have shown that children as young as 18 months want to help strangers. When their 18-month-old subjects saw a stranger throw a pencil on the floor, none of them picked it up. However, when the same subjects saw someone accidentally drop a pencil, nearly all the children picked it up in the first 10 seconds. Says Dr. Warrenkin, the results were astonishing because these children are so young. They still wear diapers and are barely able to use language, but they already show helping behavior. Because altruistic behavior appears in children so young, Dr. Warrenkin and other scientists hypothesize that the human brain is designed to be altruistic. Now, turn the page to paragraph 7, the last paragraph. The study of the biology of altruism still has a long way to go. However, many questions have grown out of these initial studies. For instance, if humans are born with a helping brain, why do we also have the ability to hurt others? Why are some of us more altruistic than others? How much control does the brain have on altruistic behavior? How much control does the brain have on altruistic behavior? How much influence does society have? As technology advances, scientists hope to find answers to these questions and increase our understanding of ourselves. Now we finished the first and the last paragraphs. Go back to Activity A to preview and choose your answers to check your answers. Have you checked your answers? If you checked your answers, compare them to my answers here. It's clear from the first and the last paragraph that it makes them feel good. The first one, so you can highlight it or check it. The second one, it helps people survive. It helps people survive. So you can check these two. Exercise C. Vocabulary. Check the words you know, then work with a partner to locate each word in the reading. Altruistic, altruistic. Barely, barely. Bring about, bring about. Compassionate, compassionate. Hypothesize, hypothesize. Initial, initial. Rely on, rely on. Subject, subject. After checking the words you know, you can use your dictionary to look up the words that you do not know, or you can find them in the reading passage to find some clues in the context as we discussed in reading 1, to find the words around the vocabulary word that can help you identify the meaning of any unknown word. So, I want you to bring your notebook and your pencil and write down the words that you do not know. Then, open your dictionary to look up the words that you have written in your notebook. Then, you can move to the next exercise to compare your findings to the words or the definitions given in this table of the vocabulary words. As we discussed before, when you look up any vocabulary word, you may find more than one meaning for each. So, try to compare the definitions to the context given in the reading passage to identify which one can work in the context. So, let's read them again and discuss the definitions. Altruistic, barely, bring about. Compassionate, hypothesize, initial, rely on. Subject. Altruistic, showing a disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others. So it means unselfish. Barely has three meanings. 1. Only just, almost not. 2. In a simple and sparse way. 3. Openly, explicitly. bring about, to cause something to happen. Compassionate, feeling or showing sympathy and concern for others. Hypothesize, put something forward as a hypothesis. Hypothesize is a verb. It means to put something forward as a hypothesis. Initial, existing or occurring at the beginning. Rely on, has two meanings. 1. Need a particular thing or the help and support of someone or something in order to continue, to work correctly, or to succeed. 2. To trust someone or something, to trust someone or something, or to expect them to behave in a particular way. Subject, a person or thing that is being discussed, described, or dealt with. Now compare these definitions to your findings that you've written in your notebook. Then compare these definitions to the context in the reading passage to identify which meaning can work in the context. Work with the reading. Exercise A. Read the article and gather information about why people help each other. We actually read paragraph 1 and paragraph number 7. Now, I want you to pause the video to read the rest. So, you can reread paragraph 1 and go on till you finish reading paragraph number 6. So, pause the video and start reading. After reading, we will have some exercise related to the reading passage and the vocabulary we've just discussed before reading. Now, pause and read. Have you finished reading? Okay, perfect. Now, it's time to start discussing exercise B, vocabulary. Here are some words and phrases from reading 2. Read the sentences, circle the answer that best matches the meaning of each bold word or phrase. Then, compare your answers with a partner. So, I want you to pause the video and open your book and try doing the questions from 1 to 8 in your book, page 132. So now, pause the video, do the questions, then play the video again to check your answers with me. Have you finished? Perfect. Now, let's discuss them together. How can we answer these questions? We base our answers on the bold word and the meaning of the whole sentence. So, we will focus on this word in question number 1. The man who saved the child's life received a medal for his altruistic act. So he got a medal. He got a medal for doing something good, to save the child's life. So the word altruistic means worried about what others will think of you, caring about others with no advantage for you, shy and not very sociable. It's clear that it means caring about others. Caring about others. So, B is the answer. Perfect. Move to question 2. Each subject in the medical study was paid $50 for answering questions about his or her health. So, the word subject. Here we have other words that help you, that like medical study. Medical study. So, is subject a person who works in hospital? A person who is part of an experiment? If you notice, the word experiment is like the word study. So, B is the correct answer. Question number 3. The researcher could barely hear anything because there was so much noise coming from outside. So, here you have the word anything, then so much, then the word noise. So, the word barely means hardly, almost not, completely, often. Now it's clear that the answer is A, hardly, almost not. Question number 4. Some scientists hypothesize that natural instincts and how we are raised have an equal effect on how helpful we are. Others believe one has more influence than the other. So here we have some scientists hypothesize, others believe. So the word hypothesize is around or near the word believe. Which one can work as a meaning of the word hypothesize? State that something is definitely true, suggest a possible explanation, disagree strongly with someone. It's clear here that it means to suggest possible explanation. So B is the answer. Let's move to question number 5. Watching people on a crowded sidewalk can bring about a better understanding of how the bystander effect works in real life. So, the word bring about. Bring about here means cause, destroy, improve. It's clear that it means to cause. So the answer is A. Question number 6. Healthcare workers are usually compassionate people. The word compassionate, focus on the word compassionate. Compassionate people, they want to help others in need. So compassionate people are caring about others, other people's feelings, having enough money, taking more than your fair share. So it's clear here that it's A, caring about other people's feelings. Number 7. All scientists rely on experiments to test whether the ideas are true or false. They never guess that an idea is right before testing it. So the word rely on. The word rely on is near the meaning use occasionally, need and depend on. Perfect. It means need and depend on, not think about, or not use occasionally. Question number 8. The results of the initial study were correct because every study after it, focus on the word, every study after it. So all the studies came after it. So it means last in a series, something that is at the beginning or first, little of importance, perfect. So if all the studies came after it, this means that it was first. Perfect. Exercise D. Circle the answer to each question. Here you will read a question in each one, then you decide the answer. Now, I want you to pause the video and start reading the questions and try to guess any difficult word to understand the choices. If you could not, you can go back to the reading passage to find the answers in the reading passage. Have you finished? Okay, perfect. Now, let's discuss them together. Number one, what is the main idea of the reading? As we discussed in all our previous lessons, we can decide the main idea through reading the first and the last paragraphs. If you reread the first and the last paragraph, you can decide the main idea of the reading. It's clear that the answer is A. Research suggests that the brain influences our desire to help others, because the reading is a research that discusses the effect of the brain on our decisions, on our desire to help others. Question 2. Which of the following is not true about mirror neurons? Here I want you to focus on the word not. So this means that of them is true. Three of them are true, but only one is not true about mirror neurons. If you read the passage, you will find a heading or a subtitle about mirror neurons. And three of these choices are correct, only one is not true or is incorrect. It's clear that they are different. They are different from ordinary brain cells. This is not true. Question number 3. What is neuroeconomics? Neuroeconomics are related to one of these four. The study of how the brain makes decisions about money. Here you have economics. Economics. So economics is a common word that is related to how we manage the money, how we make decisions about money. So it's clear that the study of how brain makes decisions about money. Perfect. Yes. Question 4. What did Dr. Harbaugh Harbaugh's studies reveal about neuroeconomics? What did Dr. Harbaugh's study reveal about neuroeconomics? So the neuroeconomics revealed something, or that some people get pleasure from being taxed on donation. Yes, perfect. Some people get pleasure from being taxed on donation or donations. Question number 5. Why might people be born with a helping brain? Why might people be born with a helping brain? It's clear that it improves people's chances of survival. Perfect. Yes. So the answer is D. Activity E. Read the statements, write T, true, or F, false, then correct each false statement to make it true. Now, I want you to pause the video and read these sentences, then decide if each is true or false. Now, pause and do the exercise. Have you finished? Have you finished? Perfect. Now let's check. Number 1, false. Why is it false? Because when 18-month-old subjects saw a stranger throw a pencil on the floor, none of them picked it up. So you can correct this part. You can correct this part. They picked it up immediately to change it to none of them picked it up. Number 2. So this one is false. Number 2 is true. Number 3 is false. Why is it false? Because scientists discovered mirror neurons recently. It says scientists have known about mirror neurons for hundreds of years. So you can change this part, have known about mirror neurons for hundreds of years, into discovered mirror neurons recently. Number 4 is true. Number 5 is false. Why is it false? Because the subjects didn't get $1,000, only $100. Only $100. Exercise F. Complete the graphic organizer for paragraph 5 of reading 2. Look at the reading skill on page 127 to help you. In the last lesson, in reading 1, we discussed the comprehension skill or the reading skill about using graphic organizers, about using the flow charts to organize information or to find connections between ideas. And if you remember from the last lesson, we divided it into 3 parts: research, results, and the conclusion we can draw from the facts and ideas mentioned in the research and the results to find out the conclusion. So, in research part, subjects donated money to the charity. A is missing. Subjects subjects donated more money. B is missing. So in the results, we can find the first result. Their pleasure centers lit up on the brain scan. C is missing. From the results, we can draw the conclusion. But we need to complete these from reading 2, especially paragraph 5. So now I want you to pause the video and go back to paragraph number 5 in reading 2 and reread the paragraph to find the missing parts A, B, C, and D. Now pause the video and go back to read paragraph 5. Now check your answers with me. In A, subjects were taxed on their donations. B, the computer gave the charity extra money. C, their pleasure centers lit up even more. The conclusion we can draw in D is the human brain may be designed to be altruistic. I will say it again. D, the human brain may be designed to be altruistic. Activity G. In Activity G, work with a partner. Use the graphic organizer from Activity F. Complete the summary of paragraph 5 of reading 2. Neuroeconomist Bill Harbaugh researched how the brain makes economic decisions. Using a charity game on a computer, he found the subject's pleasure centers lit up on a brain scan both when they donated money to a charity and when they were taxed on their donations. Furthermore, when subjects donated more money, their pleasure centers lit up more. This also happened in cases where the computer gave the charity extra money. Based on these results, scientists concluded that the human brain may be designed to be altruistic. So, we get information from the graphic organizer from Activity F to complete the summary of paragraph 5 of reading 2. So, you will fill the gaps, complete these missing parts from the graphic organizer. Vocabulary skill, page 135. Our vocabulary skill today is about phrasal verbs. What are the phrasal verbs and what is the difference between verbs and phrasal verbs? So, a phrasal verb is a combination of a verb and a particle. So, it may consist of, a phrasal verb may consist of more than one word. So, because it has two parts. The first part is a verb, the second part is a particle. Particles are usually prepositions. What are prepositions? Prepositions are words such as up, on, in, down, for, from, over. When they are combined with a verb, however, they can change the meaning of the verb. Compare these pairs of sentences. Here we have some examples. These examples use the verb and the phrasal verb of the same word, like the word end. In a phrasal verb, when we combine it with the preposition up, it will be end up. Let's read the two examples, the sentences, and compare the meanings. The scientist was finished with her research, so she ended the experiments. Sentence 2. He tried to help the old man find the address, but he ended up taking him home. So, in the first sentence, the word ended. The word ended means finished. But in the second sentence, the word or the phrasal verb ended up means to be in a situation after a series of events. So when we add a particle to the verb, we change the verb into a phrasal verb. So phrasal verbs may have different meanings than the original meaning of the verb. As you see, end means to finish, end up to be in a situation after a series of events. Another example, verb to watch. Verb to watch means to look carefully or with interest at something. But what about the phrasal verb watch out? The phrasal verb watch out means to be careful about something. So the phrasal verb changed the meaning by adding a preposition that we call a particle to the original word, to the original verb. Exercise A. Match each phrasal verb with its definition below. Look back at the readings or use your dictionary to help you. So, here we have 6 phrasal verbs and 6 definitions. To match them easily, you can use your dictionary. So, I want you to pause the video and bring your dictionary or open it on your smartphone and find the definitions for these 6 phrasal verbs, then write them down in your notebook, then compare your findings to the definitions given in this exercise to match them easily. Have you finished? Perfect. Now, let's discuss them together. Number 1, sit up. What does sit up as a phrasal verb mean? Sit up means to prepare something. So you can match 1 to D. One to D. Number 2, call out. Call out means to say something loudly or shout in order to attract attention. So number 2 with F. Number 3, figure out. Figure out as a phrasal verb means to find an answer to something or to understand. So 3C. Number 4, help out. Help out means to assist somebody. To assist somebody. So 4 goes with E. Number 5. Point out. Point out means to tell or show something that people didn't know or think about. So 5A. 5A. The last one, grow out of. Number 6 means to develop from. So match it to B. Exercise B. Complete this short article with phrasal verbs from activity A. Now pause the video, read this paragraph or this short article, try to find words or the phrasal verbs from exercise or activity A to complete the spaces. Have you finished? Perfect. Now, let's read the short article together without spaces. Dolly and Latane set up experiments with college students to figure out why no bystanders reacted to the murder of Catherine Genovese. Their study helped point out new information that they didn't expect. They discovered that the presence of more people at a scene makes people feel less responsible. The study also shows that people in groups don't react to a problem if nobody else acts or looks concerned. They assume that nothing is wrong even if they hear someone call out for help. There have been other experiments since Dolly and Latane's findings. Probably even more studies will grow out of the research because psychologists are very interested in knowing more about what other factors affect people's decisions to help out those in need. Now check your answers for the last time. Number 1, set up. 2, figure out. 3, point out. 4, call out. 5, grow out of. 6, help out. Now it's time to discuss the writing skill. The writing skill, page 137. Stating reasons and giving examples. An analysis essay is a piece of writing that carefully examines a topic by breaking it down into smaller parts. The writer looks at the smaller parts in separate body paragraphs and explains them so the reader will understand the main topic. To help explain the topic and the pieces, the writer states reasons and gives examples. Writers state reasons to explain why something happens. Reasons can explain why people act or do things in a certain way, or why things happen. Writers support the reasons with examples. Examples can be specific situations or personal observations that writers give to make their reasons clear or clearer. Thesis statement. Situation. Some people don't know their neighbors very well. The topic sentence. Reason 1. One reason is that they might not see each other often. Example, they work so much that they are rarely at home during the day. Example, they prefer not to spend much time outside. Topic sentence reason 2. Another reason is they make the wrong assumptions about their neighbors. Example, They think their neighbors are unfriendly when in fact they are really just shy. Example, they assume their neighbors are not interested in being friends. There are certain phrases that signal examples such as, for example, for instance. These two phrases are used to show or to give examples, to signal examples. For example, for instance. Stating reasons with because. Because is often used to show reasons why something happens or is true. When because is at the beginning of a sentence, a comma is put before the second subject-verb combination. Look at the example. Because they don't feel safe themselves. This is the reason. They don't think they can help someone else. The second subject-verb combination. Between them, we use a comma. We use a comma. As you see, here is the comma. Because the word because or because begins the sentence. When because is in the middle of a sentence, no comma is used. As you see, people may not help. Can you see a comma here? No. Why? Because the word because in the middle of a sentence. Because they don't feel safe. Page 138. Exercise A. Read the model analysis essay. Underline the thesis statement. The thesis statement in this essay is, on many occasions, people might decide not to help a stranger in need for a number of reasons. Why? Because this sentence introduces the reasons and the examples will be given in the body paragraphs. After you finish reading the essay, you need to do activity B. Complete the graphic organizer with information from the essay in activity A. Here you need to identify the situation, to give the reasons, and to find some examples. In each you will find two examples. So here we have the situation. We need to write down the situation here. This is the situation. Find the situation, then find the reasons. The reasons in paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4, because these are the body paragraphs that discuss the reasons, and the examples from these paragraphs. So this will be clarified in detail in this diagram or graphic organizer. The situation is that people decide not to help a stranger. In paragraph 2, too busy to help. But in paragraph 3, the reason is that they don't feel safe. In paragraph 4, the reason is that they assume they can help themselves. Themselves. And the examples given 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So in paragraph 2, the first example, that they don't help a stranded driver on the way to work. Example 2, number 2, they ignore a student who looks lost on the way to class. In paragraph 3, they don't help a neighbor who screams in the middle of the night. Example 2, in paragraph 3, they don't stop a fight on the street or sidewalk. In paragraph 4, they don't help someone on the sidewalk who seems lost. They don't. Example 2, they don't help a young man who falls down. And with this exercise, we finish our lesson today. I want you to write down all the answers in your book and try to do them yourself before doing them from the video. If you could not understand any part, you can replay the video till you understand it. You can replay it many times to find the answers or to understand the activities. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you. With my best wishes. عيد مبروك.